Congratulations! You have just purchased a great product manufactured by Miruna. This is the Model 3 Stitcher, which will allow you to stitch notepads, magazines, calendars, everything you will need to help you through your business day. When you receive your Model 3 machine, you will also receive information, an instruction manual, a parts catalog, and tools for maintenance of your Model 3. First, install the wire support arm, removing the holding screws, then retightening them with the 6mm Allen wrench. Raise the flat spring that guides the wire and tighten with the 4mm wrench. Prior to hooking up the electrical, determine what voltage your machine operates. On 220 volts single phase, 200 volts three phase, or 110 volts. An electrician should install the electrical plug for your machine. Always make certain the ground wire is properly connected. Turn the machine on and check the direction the machine is turning by watching the rotation of the arrow through the hole in back of the machine. Remove the front nip guard. All moving parts that require lubrication are marked by a red indicator. Lubricate with the oil supplied or use any common machine oil. Replace front nip guard before running the machine. Remove the locking screw from the pedal area to allow the pedal to function using the 5mm Allen wrench. Use the correct gauge of wire for the type and thickness of publication you will be stitching. Please refer to the table. To stitch more than 200 shades, flat stitching wire gauge number 20 by 23 is recommended. Place the reel of wire to be used this way. Feed the wire through the straightener. Introduce into the machine and continue to feed wire through the gripper. Pull through so that wire is straight. Set book thickness in the thickness calipers and adjust so that calipers are snug. Back off slightly to remove excessive pressure. That will be your fine adjustment for stitch compression. To settle stitch, remove the pin and lower the table to 45 degrees. Replace the pin. Remove the large guide. Set it aside and align the small lateral guides to regulate the distance between the stitches. To flat stitch, place the table at 90 degrees. Replace the large guide. And regulate the distance between the stitches, again using the small lateral guides. Consult the manual for correct wire gauge usage for the thickness of book to be stitched. Important tips for maintenance and cleaning of your Model 3 stitcher. Warning: before beginning any maintenance or cleaning of your machine, be sure to unplug the machine from the electrical source. As time goes on, certain parts go through a normal wearing process which can cause problems in stitching. A general maintenance of parts is recommended. Begin with the wire hammer. Remove it by pulling the flat spring forward. Make sure the spring has enough pressure to hold the wire. Check to make sure the flat spring is releasing the wire clamp that releases the wire. Maintenance of the cutter station. With the head in the uppermost position, remove large screw in front of cutting block. Remove cutting block. Loosen knife screw. Rotate the knife to expose a sharp surface. Remove tension spring, loosen wire nozzle bolt. Rotate nozzle, then adjust so that cutter wheel covers wire nozzle hole, with tension against wire nozzle cove. Overhauling the front of the machine. Loosen the 4 screws with the 5 mm Allen wrench. Remove the cover by pulling forward gently. Remove the fold activating port, the stitcher former. This regulating screw has an eccentric head. Release the bolt and turn the head 1/4 turn. Retighten the bolt. Checking the stitch forming part. If the corners of the driver are worn, remove the 4 screws and invert. Replace the screws and tighten so that guide moves freely between formers. Rotate if necessary. Inspect rollers to see that they move freely. Check the flat spring for damage. If damaged or broken, replace. Regulating the wire transport arm. For perfect synchronism and introducing the wire into the machine, regulate this movement. Turn the head manually via the back wheel until it moves into this position. Loosen the bolt and screw, tightening them until the intermediate part is no longer loose. It will be in the correctly regulated position. Turn the screw another 3 turns, retightening the bolt. The movement it makes should not be more than 4 millimeters. Change the position of the grooved pincher roller. Remove the screw with the screwdriver. Remove the part and turn it 1/4 turn. Return it to its place and retighten the screw. Put the machine together in the following sequence. Lubricate the center slide. Replace it, inserting the 3 rollers. Insert the cutting device part. Lubricate this side again. Replace the front cover and the screws. Replace the wire hammer and the cutting device, making sure it is seated properly. Only then, replace the spiral spring of the device. Maintenance of the clincher box. Manually raise the clincher drive arm below the machine. Remove the 2 screws from the clincher plate cover. Clean the clincher points with a brush, but do not add oil. Check to see that it is inserted properly. If the corners are warm, the points will not raise high enough to fold the wire correctly. In this case, replace the clincher points and the clincher drive slide. Reinstall driver slide in the same rotation. It should fit perfectly. This is the incorrect position. This is the correct. Check for smooth movement. Replace the clincher cover, turn the wheel again to make sure the movement is smooth. Regulation the folding length. From the back side of the machine, remove the screw, loosen the belt and remove the flywheel. Be sure the machine is unplugged. Replace the screw press the pedal and turn the axle. To regulate to the maximum of folding length, be sure the cam below the press the plunger. Regulating the clincher slide driver. Remove the table. To get the clincher to the ideal height, remove this cover with the clinchers in the lowest position. Remove the 4 screws from the table support. Remove the screw from the driver slide. Remove the table support and raise the level by turning counterclockwise until it reaches the height of 1 mm. Replace the support and confirm the height at 1 mm. This is the right place. Replace the screws and the cover. Replace the table in flat or saddle position. If the machine does not stitch, the clutch pin could be damaged. Check to see that the movement is smooth. Loosen the screw. In 90% of cases, the spring is broken. Replace with a new one and replace any other parts that may be damaged. Removing the clutch pin. Turn the rod to unlock the machine. With the 6 mm Allen wrench, turn the axle until it is in this position. Use the hammer and the long pin to remove the clutch pin. Remove the pin. Turn the rod and remove the clutch pin. Remove the spring to make sure it is not damaged. Put it back together, replacing the spring. Put some axle grease on the ball bearing so it will stay in the clutch. Place the clutch pin on the axle and on the quarter pin. Turn the rod and finish setting it in place. Turn the axle until the ball bearing lines of the spring. Then, replace the spin. Replacing the flywheel. Replace the flywheel in the same manner it was removed. Replace the center bolt and belt and tighten the belt. Regulating the compressor spring with the stitch guide. When you wish to stitch a thickness greater than 20 mm 3/4 inch, tighten the spring bolt by 5 turns more or less. After finishing the general revision of the machine, you will need to regulate it. Push the pedal and turn the back wheel until the slide gets to this point. Using 6 sheets of paper to calibrate, lower the head until the paper is gently held. Regulate the screw which eccentric until one roller touches the other, tightening the bolt well. raise the head, remove the paper and lower the head again. Notice there is a space between the folder, case and the slide. This is the lowest point for the head. Regulating the left side of the staple leg length. With the head lowered, loosen the two M5 screws. Pull the eccentric pin to free the cutting device. Use 2 sheets of paper to calibrate. Place them between the device and the wire guide, setting one against the other. Place the pin inside and tighten the screws again. Regulating the right side of the staple length length. Check to see if the screw is broken, or if there is any peripheral damage such as gouges or furrows. When the side screw hits the bottom of the wedge, it will be in position to stitch 2 sheets. When it hits the top of the wedge, it will stitch greater than 20 millimeters. To increase the leg length, loosen the bolt and the screw until they are the same, tightening the bolt once again. To diminish the leg length, do the opposite. Equalization of the wedge with the stitching head totally lowered will need to be done only if the wedge has been replaced. Leg length being less, loosen the lower screw 1/2 turn and tighten the upper one 1/2 turn. Loosen the bolt and tighten the screw 1/4 turn, then retighten the bolt. Raise the head all the way and check to see the staple leg length are the same. Repeat this operation until they are the same length, whether stitching 2 sheets, one more than 20 millimeters. Following this instruction precisely, you will certainly have much greater quality in your final products and productivity in your bindery. Miruna, the brand to count on for over 50 years. This video was filmed under the instruction and supervision of the manufacturer.